Yo, what is up, high-end client acquisition peeps? This is Zachary Babcock here, host of the Underdog Empowerment Podcast. We're doing a mic takeover. I hope you guys welcome me with open arms.
Welcome to High-End Client Acquisition Podcast. My name is Marian. I'm your host, and this show is here to teach you how to attract your dream clients on autopilot in 30 days or less. Each week, I bring you a guest or a strategy that can help you take your business to the next level. Don't forget, you can always get the episodes in your inbox or messenger at clientacquisitionpodcast.com.
Dude, so we just got done jamming. That was a tongue twister. We just got done jamming on my podcast, Marian, and dude, you crushed it, killed it, as always. I wasn't surprised. But dude, I just really like jamming with you, dude, because we both, our stories are very different, but they're very similar in the fact of, dude, you came over here to this country with absolutely nothing but a hope and a dream, and you made shit happen and became a millionaire, dude. You know what I'm saying? With nothing versus you got a lot of people over here that are making excuses that had it way better than you ever had. And with my story, doing over 5 years in prison and building a 6-figure business, people like us, man, we get it because we're closer to the earth, we're closer to reality, and we're hungry for it. And that's just one reason why I like jamming with you, dude.
100%, man. And first of all, a couple of things. Thanks a lot for the introduction. You probably do it better than that I do it myself. But I want to be just transparent for one thing, because you said something that I think maybe a lot of people kind of get not confused, but they just confuse by the whole media. So I'm not yet a millionaire. I did more than $1 million in sales, but of course, profit-wise was
gotcha.
So profit-wise was close to 400, so about 350 or something like that. So I'm not a millionaire when the whole thing. So I'm always transparent, especially with my listeners and with pretty much everybody. And I get this question a lot, and I always like to put it out there, no, dude, I don't have $1 million cash in my bank account yet. I'm still I'm literally reinvesting everything that I do in my business. But yeah, thank you so much for that, and really appreciate the intro, bro.
Yeah, dude, and I really appreciate that your candor there and being real and honest about that. And it's still though, that's a hell of a feat. But yeah, dude. So tell me, dude, what was it for you, dude, when you first came over here? And put yourself. I want you to go back to that point in time when you were traveling over here to the U.S. Whatever it was that you were going through, and you knew you had to come over here and you had to make some shit happen. What were the thoughts that were going through your mind? What were some of the feelings? What were some of the things that you were telling yourself that you remember?
Yeah, bro. I get goosebumps every time when somebody asks me this, because I go back in time. So it was 20. So I got my, the first time that I got in US was in 2010, but was only for 3 months. So it was a super short, and at the time, I kid you not, I thought I know English. When I got here, I realized that I know crap. I was not able to have a conversation with somebody, because everything that I learned in high school was grammar. So I knew how to write. But when you put me face to face, and my first job was in a restaurant, cleaning dishes and wiping tables and things like that. So I didn't have to talk much with the customers. But so what happened was I came here, and I remember I had a job offer. I think it was, $6-7 an hour, something like that, back in 2010. But when I got here, I realized that job was only giving me work for 2 days, so Saturday and Sunday. And I asked the guy that helped me get that job, I'm like, dude, so what am I supposed to do for the rest of I can't stay home. I borrowed $2,000 to come here to pay for the ticket. The ticket alone was $1,200, and then just getting some. I paid for the first month of rent. Oh no, because a friend of mine helped me with the rent. I think the first 2 months. So I had $600-700 on my name. But the next question was how do I get a job? I applied for a social security number. I knew I had to wait a couple of weeks. I was fortunate enough to get that card back pretty quickly. And my friend told me, dude, you just have to go knock on restaurant doors and ask if they hire. And I'm like, so what exactly am I saying? I don't know what to say, literally the words. And the guy was like, dude, just knock a door, go ask to talk to the manager, say, hey, can I talk to the manager? The person at the front desk will ask you, what do you want to talk to the manager about? And the second phrase would be, are you guys hiring? And hope to say some sort of yes, or not have to get to in a one-on-one conversation too much, because I didn't know much of like English. Like I could understand, but I couldn't answer back. I had that mind block for some reason, right? So I just started going, knocking the doors, literally probably for 7-8 hours. I don't know, the second or third day after I came over, and I started knocking the doors. You know, I kid you not, it was like 6-7 p.m. I thought that I'm done for the day. Nobody said yes. And then a Russian restaurant said, yeah, we need some help in the kitchen. Can you come clean the floor and help the cook with some tasks in the kitchen? I'm like, yeah, whatever you need me to do. When can I come? And they were like, what? Yeah. And they were like, when can you? And I'm like, tomorrow, tonight, whatever. I just like, I need a job as soon as possible. And they were like, oh, cool. Come tomorrow at 6 p.m. And they said, you have transportation? I'm like, yeah, sure. I didn't realize that place was like 7 miles away. But anyway, so then I just started working, 2 days at the restaurant and then a couple other days at this place. But it was only 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. So I needed another job, right? It was still not enough for me to even support myself there. Nonetheless, being able to pay back the family friend that borrowed me the $2,000 to come over. So what happened was I started just going into some, not groups, at the time it was some forums. And I was fortunate enough to meet a person that knew somebody that needed some help in a cleaning company. And he asked me, dude, are you okay? You have to go and clean toilets and stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, man, whatever. Just tell me, when can I start working? I need money, like I need air, like I need to work. And yeah, so the guy comes in the morning, picks me up in his car, gets me there. He shows me the place. It was like 11-12 miles away from the place that I lived. And the first thing that he asked me, he said, do you have a car? Do you have a scooter or something? And I said, yeah, why? In terms of what time I can be here? He said, yeah, at 6 a.m. you have to start work. And I'm like, yeah, sure. I do have, I'm able to come here at 6 a.m. So then I realized that, okay, I'm going to have to ride my bike for 2 hours to get to this place, clean a couple toilets until 11 a.m. and then come back. So I was working for 4 hours and then I had to come back. So the first cool experience was I lost about 35 pounds in like 2 weeks. So because I had to ride my bike a lot. In Chicago, the summers are like really, really hot. But yeah, those were the first couple days, first couple weeks and months with my contact with US. What he taught me was that, so stuff like that doesn't happen in like back home. You can just show up not knowing the language, knock at the doors and start asking a couple of people and then be able to support yourself. That doesn't happen back home. So what that taught me, I never thought a moment about, oh, I'm ashamed saying that I have to clean toilets or I have to work this and I have to ride my bike or whatever, right? It was like, for me, it was, damn, this is the land of opportunity. You can make shit happen here.
Dude, that story is dope, dude, like hands down. And so, dude, you think about that just for a moment. I want to wrap the brain around that for a second, because there's literally so many people in America that are crying about whatever it is and making excuses as to why they can't have what they want in life. They say, oh, it's because that person's privileged. No, that you're a clear example that, I mean, you didn't have any special privileges. The only privilege you had was being underprivileged, and that is the privilege. That's what I talk about all the time, dude, because like I honestly believe when your back's against the wall, like it was in your case, there's nowhere to go but forward. And people better get the fuck out of your way, because you're not playing around. You know what I mean? And so that's pretty awesome. So tell me, after you were doing that, man, you're cleaning the bathrooms, you're working, you lost the weight after a couple of weeks or whatever. Did it get worse before it got better? And the reason why I asked that is because I went through it myself, like where it got the absolute hardest right before the breakthrough. It was like, that's why they talk about that Think and Grow Rich, where they say so many people quit 3 feet from gold because it gets so hard right before you break through. Did you have kind of a similar experience?
So like I said, those were just all together were like 3 months. But what happened was, after like not even 3 weeks after I got the second job, I got one like next to the next to my apartment where I was living, it was at a big hotel, pretty nice and fancy and all the rest of the stuff. I remember I was even happier because at the cleaning company, I was getting paid $7.25 an hour, and the hotel offered me like $9.25. And I was like happy out of my life when I heard that, right? So that happened for like 3.5 months. And then I had to take off because my visa was expiring. At the time, I had my girlfriend, my wife currently, but at the time we weren't married. So we were talking about, hey, what can we do to make our life, together here? And, it was a tough period of time. It was the first time that we got kind of like separated. It was hard for her, not knowing what to expect. I wasn't answering the phone for like hours and hours because I was like working, right? So you don't get that, like you don't understand like why you're not answering, like what happened? Are you, like you hanging around with something, like what's going on? So the 3 months passed, I went back, and then 2 years later, I knew that I had to come back. It's just that I had to find a way to be able to even stay more. So then I got a contract at a labor job, literally just doing, it was in a moving company. So that was for like 9 months. So then I came over in 2012, and my wife tried for like 4 times. What happens is, like, for people listening, not knowing how the immigration system works and all the rest, like everybody that's from a different country other than Canada and a couple others, in order to be able to work in US, it's a long process. Like you have to have somebody that sends you a job offer, you have to accept it, you have to go through some process, like you have to go to the embassy, apply for the visa and whatever. So they would keep denying my wife's visa for the reason that they said like, oh, we don't think that you're going to come back if you go there. And I was like, okay, cool. So I stayed for 9 months. I worked again at this place, 7 days a week, a lot of overtime. I was able to save, I don't know, a couple $1,000 those 9 months. So then I came back, and in 2013, we were fortunate enough to be able to both come. So we both arrived back in Boston. I went back to my job. My wife found a job after a couple days coming over. Again, similar situation to what I had, but her English was even worse than mine. So it was a little more difficult for her to get familiar with it, but not a single time she said, hey, I don't like here, I want to go, or whatever. She just hustled the same way that I did, sometimes even harder than I did. So yeah, and then we were able, like when you just have that immigrant mindset, you just put your head down and work, and you don't spend money on dumb shit. Like you just don't. Like we were working, like literally both of us 7 days a week. So then after 1 year or something like that, we took a vacation. And what I understood, I think I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad at the time. So what I understood was I was in the scarcity mindset when we were gone, thinking that those 7 days that I wanted to travel with my wife and enjoy, I had the scarcity mindset that I'm not going to make any money. So when I read the book, what the book taught me was like, if you don't learn a way to make money, if you don't actively doing something, you're going to have to work for the rest of your life. And again, don't get me wrong. I have trust me, I have the hustle mentality. Nobody can stop. Like if I put my head down and work, I work. But then I had to learn a way to do it that I don't have to be physically there. So what I said, the first thing that I thought was, well, what if I go and buy a truck and start offering the same services that I get paid to do at my job? Like, what if I go? So the first business that I did was I literally, I saved up, I think it was like $25K at the time after a couple, 2 years. So I went and bought a truck. So that was the breakthrough moment, because I said, okay, I'm just going to quit. Now I saved up enough money to buy this truck that's going to make me money. But I talked to my wife and she said, don't worry, I'm still going to work 2-3 shifts, like 2-3 jobs until we start making some money from this company. So that was, it really got worse at the time where for like 6 months, I didn't make a single dime out of this new venture that I jumped in. So that was the point where, I hope I didn't go too long on this, but that was the point that kind of taught me like, okay, things are not just going to magically happen. Like I was up at 4 a.m. to work on the website. At 7 a.m. I was driving the truck. And then while I had some furniture on my back, I was taking phone calls. So, I had to go through all the positions in the company before I even made the first hire. So then I had a partner of mine, a friend of mine, they joined me. So we started to split tasks. Like I just started to work just on the sales and marketing side of it, and he was working on the operation side. So that's how I got my start into entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly. And people want to say it's an overnight success story. Nah. They don't see the years and the blood, sweat, and tears that went behind to get to where you're at right now, dude. But dude, that's what's up, man. And that's really awesome that you were able to get to where you're at right now after, you know, having the odds stacked against you like you did, man. So what would you tell somebody that's just getting started out in entrepreneurship, that's thinking about entrepreneurship, or that has just begun entrepreneurship, that still hasn't broken through yet? What's one piece of advice that you would give that person?
100%. And it depends, of course, on a couple of different aspects, because I want to, you know, I always like to be tactical, and I want to make sure that when I give a quick tip or something, the person, it's like really relate to maybe the same model that they're trying to apply. So if you are at a job right now and you're trying to go and start something on your own, I always say, don't just quit if you don't have some money saved. At least save up, because you're still gonna have to pay some bills. Like, you know, unless you stay with the parents and you don't have to pay rent, and you can still, you know, eat at the same place and things like that. Other than that, save a little bit, just a couple $1,000, and start working on the same thing that you want to do, the extra hours. So if you work 9 to 5, don't just, like, as long as you know why you're doing it for, if you know that 9 to 5 is just the vehicle that's going to get you, like, I hear a lot of people complain like, oh, I hate my job and stuff. You only hate it because you don't have something to work for. If I would tell you right now that if you don't work the next 2 years at your 9 to 5, something bad is going to happen with somebody in your family, you're never gonna complain about it, right? So the only reason that people complain about, oh, I hate my 9 to 5, is because they don't have something on the back of their mind that they really want to work for. So you have to find. Don't just say, oh, I want to start an e-commerce because that person has success, or because I bought a course for $1,000 and this person selling me a dream, because that's what it is. Or you just see this person and the other person having success, because people most likely, they only post their success. Like, to be honest, I wish I would have posted everything that I share with you right now back then, but I didn't. So I guess the most tactical advice would be, don't just quit right away. At least use the relationships, use some money out of your salary and put down. Maybe you know somebody that's at your job that can help you with maybe some, like, I don't know, like, you have to be resourceful and see every situation as a resource that can help you get to the next venture. Like, if you try to build a side hustle or whatever. So at first, you have to be a seller. The first thing that you have to learn is how to sell. Mm-hmm. If you don't know, and if you don't learn how to sell, you have to partner up with somebody that knows how to sell, because at first, you're not going to have the money to hire somebody that knows how to sell. So as much as people would say, but I'm not a salesperson, well, guess what? If you don't sell, you're not going to eat. So
yeah, exactly.
You have to. So the first tactical thing is, don't just quit, save up some money, and then at least have a little bit of something that can help you kind of boost. Or one other thing that I didn't do, but even now I'm still willing to do it to a certain level. If you can go and work for somebody that's doing what you do and do it for free, I mean, if you get paid, that's awesome. But if you can at least learn, like, for example, if somebody wants to have a podcasting agency, if they come to you right now and say, hey, Zach, I know how to edit because I learned from a bunch of YouTube videos and I know how to edit an audio file. I'm willing to learn from you for 1 year. I'm willing to do it for free. Would you accept me? And obviously, you probably need more people to help you edit audios for your customers. And if this person it's willing to work for free and they're upfront and they tell you that they're going to stick around for 6 months to a year to at least learn from you, it's probably cool to say that, yeah, you probably agree with that, right?
100%.
Yeah, and then from that, if you see that person is great, you probably start paying them. So another thing would be at least try to hang around with people that do exactly what you want to do, and try to get into their network. Try to learn from them. That helped me a lot in a little bit in the more kind of like advanced level.
Dude, that's fire tips right there. Is it all right if I piggyback a little bit on that?
No, 100%.
Dude, so like going back to the first tip of saving up and holding on to your job before you just burn the boat. Absolutely, dude. And so like I was in a situation, and I'm telling this story because I want to put the point behind it. So I was in a situation where I had to burn the boat. I couldn't get a job anywhere because I was a convicted felon. I did that to myself. I take full responsibility for it, but I couldn't get a job anywhere, dude. And the place I did, so I had to, I knew I was at this point where, dude, our bills are backed up. My wife's supporting us. This business thing, we've been doing this for over 4 years now. When is this going to ever break through? Like, oh my God, bills are getting shut off. The water's off. We got kids. Like, it was hectic. And I went and got this title loan on our Chrysler Aspen because I knew I had to get into this mastermind and learn how to craft offers online. Now, for most people, they're like, dude, that's stupid. Why would you do it? You know, a title loan, the interest rates on those. But dude, by burning the boat and making that commitment, dude, like again, the back was against the wall. Now, I wouldn't recommend doing that, but I kind of had to. So if you don't have to burn the boat, like at some point you're going to have to burn a boat and take that calculated risk. But dude, like if I could go back to that time and let's say wipe my record clean and can get a job at anywhere, you know what I would do, dude? Just like you're talking about saving us money, I would get a job at Uber. Because you could work on your own time and you could pay yourself. All right. Then you could ride around, and in between rides, you could listen to audiobooks, and then you could build your business on the side and work whenever you want. You don't have a boss that tells you when you have to be there, and you don't have to work long hours, and you can get after it, dude. That's
right on. Yeah. No, that's even more powerful. Yeah. Like now, I remember back then it wasn't like Uber wasn't even around in 2013, 2014, or maybe it was, I don't know. But no, that's killer advice right there. Like now you have a couple hours, you know, just go and Uber and some Lyft, and you're going to make some money on the side, and then put that money back into what you're trying to do, and boom, that's it.
Exactly, dude. And then one other thing you mentioned, it was to get a job, save up, and then to get around the people that can help. Dude, like,
you want to do, yeah.
Yeah, dude, like there's literally no faster shortcut than becoming the student of the person that already has what you want. And like you said, you can either go work for them, you could barter services, you could pay them money, you can introduce them to someone in your network. That'd be a power play for you. Whatever kind of resourceful way that you have to do it, because that's going to speed up. Like no matter what, you're going to have to develop the skills that are valuable in the market, but you're going to have to develop high character and real tangible valuable skills in the marketplace if you're going to make it as an entrepreneur. And there's no shortcut around that. You have to develop those things, and there's no shortcut, but there's a way to streamline it. And like you mentioned, that's by getting around the people that already have what you want. I literally, if you could think of a faster way to streamline that process, please email me at contact@ZacharyBabcock.com. I would love to know because I literally can't find a better one. But yeah, man, dude, we've been jamming. This has been an organic conversation. I really appreciate you letting me come on the High-End Client Acquisition Podcast and take over the mic. Is there anything that we didn't cover, or anything that you want to say before we drop off here?
So I guess we didn't talk much about how people can actually get any clients, but at least I think the advice that they can get from this episode is so much more important, and I hope everybody's taking notes. And by the way, guys, we literally just finished, before we started recording this interview, we finished another one where I took over the Underdog Empowerment podcast and I interviewed Zach. So all of you guys that are listening, regardless of the platform that you're listening to this interview right now, go to Underdog Empowerment podcast or just search for it. And of course, in the show notes, you can find the link and listen to that interview, because we're releasing them literally at the same time, the same day. And that was like a really dope interview as well.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that, dude. And right on. I appreciate you once again having me come on the show, taking over the mic. Everybody, right on, keep killing it. And dude, we're definitely gonna have to make this happen again soon.
Yeah, I think we're probably gonna need to do a series on this. I just love this so much.
It's pretty cool to switch positions and stuff. It's pretty unique.
100%, man.
Cool. All right. See ya. Peace.
Hey, podcast listeners, I want you to know that I really appreciate your attention and I don't take it lightly. That's why each month we pick a lucky winner and we give away books, mentorship, software, courses, iPads, and other cool stuff. The way to enter is go to clientacquisitionpodcast.com and sign up. You'll get all the details there. Talk to you guys soon. Take care.